had an overwhelming response. Tell me what that response has been like.
Oh, the response was overwhelming. I had phone calls immediately from Warren Inch, Glenn Elms, the ex-Environment Minister for Queensland. I had Bob Irwin, Ben Crop. I had a multitude of phone calls. I had 2 phones going at once. It was unbelievable. And Facebook has melted. And also my email, I think I had 173 emails within an hour. The response is fantastic.
And what are they saying?
They're just praising what we've done and getting it out there. The message now has gone around Australia. I've been trying for so many years. 2.5 years of my life I've dedicated to this, and last night it paid off. Everyone now in Australia knows what happens to a turtle and dugong in Queensland, and I'm so happy you wouldn't believe.
The Environment Minister, Vicky Darling's come out today and said they're going to launch an investigation into this. And what do you think of that?
Well, she's a joke, and Anna Bly's a joke, and Tony Burke's a joke. A year ago, Greg Hunt, the Shadow Minister of the Environment federally, he asked for a CMC investigation into this illegal trade, and they said it wasn't warranted, it doesn't happen. Now they've given Helene Marsh $130,000 to find out if there is an illegal trade. No one's ever rang me up, no one's ever asked any of my witnesses. This government here in Queensland is a joke. I laugh at her suggestion, and I laugh at their suggestion they're going to launch an investigation. How many investigations are they going to have? I've had one for 2.5 years, I've discovered all this. What are they doing? I'm one bloke.
So it's really not a step forward?
No, it's a step backwards. They're a joke. They're saying the thing that they want to hear, people want to hear. There's an election looming. They just say all the right things. I hope everyone knows now that the Queensland government doesn't care about cruelty. The Katter Party doesn't care about cruelty. Only the LNP, and I'm going to vote for them, and I'm a Labor voter.
What do you want to see? What needs to happen?
I want to see the Animal Care and Protection Act changed immediately. I want those animals, protected so that we don't see sites like that. This is 2012. I can't believe that our government allowed that. Why do we pander that? If it was you or I doing that, they'd be on us like a rash. And yet every day we allow endangered and vulnerable animals to be cut up alive. Why are they even killing them? We've got to ask that.
There were some pretty graphic images on the news last night. What goes through your mind when you see that sort of thing?
Well, it shocks me to the core, but that's the sort of stuff that I have to look at nearly every week, and I've been doing it for 2.5 years. But that footage that we got, with a good mate of mine who went up there on his own, we hired a boat. No one else was involved. It was he and I and Bob Irwin. We're the crew, we're the committee, and that's what it was. There was a lot of allegations made about the boat driver. That's incorrect. He had no part in it. He wasn't even aware of what we're doing. He thought the bloke was up there on a charter, but we had secret glasses and we filmed that footage, and I'm so happy with that, man, you wouldn't believe.
What do you think the flow-on effects of this are going to be?
Well, I think now that the overwhelming pressure on the government will make them change the Animal Care and Protection Act, whether they fluke the government or not, which I don't think they will. And I think Tony Burke now, I know he's been inundated with emails. I've had so many messages saying they're all contacting Tony Burke's office. If he can withstand the pressure of this, with people knowing what we do in Australia, and he condones it, well, he's a better man than me, because I couldn't do it.
You think it's going to take more than just the state government to do an investigation?
Oh, I'm sure of it. It needs a federal investigation, the CMC. We need to know where this money is being derived from. Allegation made last night by Seth Formile, a very well-respected Indigenous person, which I respect too. He said that the trade involves non-Indigenous, and I fully believe that too. He said it goes down as far as Melbourne. Now, I know that the Indigenous do hunt them and they catch them. I also know that non-Indigenous hunt them and catch them. So let's get it out there and let's find out what's going on, why these animals are being sold and traded around Australia.
There is a debate that, who are we to take away the rights of, the traditional owners of the land? But we need to find a happy medium, don't we? What would you propose?
I propose that we have a 12-month moratorium, determine whether we even should be killing them at all. See if it's sustainable to be doing that. They're endangered and they're vulnerable, right? That's a fact. I'm even on the government websites, check them yourself today. Now, we need to have a moratorium to determine whether it's sustainable to do it. If it is sustainable, then we have to have a true permit system where it's controlled by the elders and they hand out the permits and they're monitored on how many they hand out, and they have to produce the skulls or the shells, and if there's any breaches of that, they should lose their native title right to hunt those animals in their native title area. They should be killed and consumed in community. They shouldn't be shipped around cans around Australia. If they kill them locally, they're eaten locally, if they need it. And while that moratorium's on too, I want the government to subsidise the food up in the Torres Straits, in the remote communities, and make these people buy their food at the same price I do. Then there's no reason to kill those animals. They claim it's protein. Well, let's find out if that's the true claim. There's plenty of seafood in that ocean they can eat that's not vulnerable. Why do we have to just kill these vulnerable animals? Why does the government turn a blind eye? That's what annoys me.
The state government recently announced that they've appointed 6 new rangers up in the Cape area. Do you think that will help in any way?
I don't think that'll help at all. That $5 million should have been used for the moratorium. It should have had one Indigenous, one non-Indigenous person counting the turtles and dugongs by air or by sea. and use that money wisely. 6 rangers will do nothing. 6 rangers, wouldn't cover between here and Port Douglas. That's a joke.
Anything else that you'd like to say?
No, I'm going to vote for the LNP. Even though I'm a Labor man, you cut my wrist tomorrow, Bob Hawke's head would jump out. I'm that much Labor, but this election I'm going to vote LNP.
Just finally, give us an idea of. You're obviously very passionate about this, and think back to the very first time when you saw these images and what was going through your mind at that point? It must have had a huge impact on you.
I was totally stunned because my background is I worked in abattoirs for 7 years. I killed cows. I killed hundreds of thousands of cows. My job was to shoot them, cut them up. And when I saw the vision of what they do to an animal live, I was stunned. No one even works in abattoirs likes cruelty. No thinking Australian likes cruelty. To see an animal cut up alive is a horrific experience. And last night, that experience was shared with the nation, and I'm very, very happy they saw it. And I hope their children saw it too, because that's the only thing that will change this. If we don't react, nothing will change.
Well said. Thank you very much, Colin.
Thanks, brother. God, I love this. I love getting the message. I'm so happy with the message.
Yeah.
See, everyone misses the point where I call for subsidised trade in the Torres Straits. That should be happening. Why do they pay $19 a kilo for diet mince that looks like your hair? I wouldn't have it to a 70. I know shit too. Now that stuff looks like your hair. It's that white. And it's frozen. And the expiry date's a year. You wouldn't eat that. You wouldn't go and buy that in Woolies or Coles. And they're expected to. I have sympathy for them doing it, because the simple fact is, if I was faced with that, I would probably do what they do. But there's got to be some control. So we've really got to get to the bottom of why they're killing those animals. And it is because the exorbitant price of the food up there. It's their people selling it to them, but it's also being shipped from Brisbane to the Torres Straits. Why isn't it shipped out of Townsville and reduce the freight? Why do we subsidise Seaswift to take the freight up there? Those people should be able to walk in the supermarket and buy what you buy today at Woolies. You and I should go shopping today for a barbecue, and they should be able to buy the meat the same price. And that's what annoys me. No one even sends that message to them. And I've been singing that because all they say is Colin wants to ban native title, Colin wants to do this. They're missing that part of the message. And I've sung it that for often now, it's not funny.
Yeah.
And I really have their interests at heart, but I also have the animals' interests more at heart.
Yeah, well, we need to find that balance, don't we?
Yeah. And Seth Formile, look, he's a good man. I've been with